When there's people, there's likely an interest to see what's going on, but when they get the drone up there, then we have to start pulling our resources off the fire.
Yeah, more drone operators flying during critical situations like wildfires when air tankers and helicopters are actively trying to battle the flames.
Brian Schnee looked into the dangers unmanned aircraft can pose for our firefighters and the counter-drone technology that is being used here in Utah and across the country.
Dangerous drone flights trending in the wrong direction. Unauthorized drones flying over wildfires, putting firefighters at risk.
How does that hamper firefighting operations?
Well, you clearly saw that out there on the California Palisades fire last year, where we actually had a collision with a drone and a super scooper.
January 2025, a drone flown illegally into restricted airspace while firefighters were battling the devastating Palisades fire.
And so when you don't have those resources for a couple of weeks, it really can put a hamper on firefighting efforts out there.
Roughly $65,000 to repair the plane and federal charges for the drone pilot. According to the USDA Forest Service, 218 drone sightings over active wildfires in 2025, with 184 drone incursions reported within restricted airspace around the Eaton and Palisades fires in the Los Angeles area alone. In 1 year, more than the national total from the 7 years prior at 125 reported incidents.
There's been an increased focus on prosecuting folks who fly illegally.
The use of drones have become extremely popular. Anyone can buy one. And anyone can fly one. Ignoring and simply not knowing laws and regulations while flying can be dangerous, so law enforcement are cracking down. How often are you using that technology, and when did you start using it here in Provo?
So we've been using it for a while.
Sergeant Cam Nelson heads up the drone team at Provo Police Department.
We can see in real time, too, if they're violating flight restrictions.
Who were busy tracking down drone pilots flying over or near the Buckley Draw Fire, which sparked in August 2025 in Provo, Utah.
The federal government was running the system. They would notify us of the location, GPS location of a current drone that was up in the air. And the FAA gives out, they require that drones have a remote ID. So it's kind of like a driver license plate in a drone form.
Police implementing counter-drone technology used to identify a drone's location.
And there's our pilot.
And the current location of the person flying it.
We click on it, and it will show us the remote identifier, what kind of drone this drone is, and the GPS coordinates of where that remote identifier is coming from.
Can you overtake a drone?
We cannot. So that's not something we can do.
On that fire near Provo,
the picture isn't worth a firefighter's life.
Nearly 24 instances of drones buzzing into restricted airspace.
So if a drone goes inside of that TFR, that's an incursion. That's when they can get up to $500 fines. That's where they could get their licenses taken away. An intrusion is when they're right on the outside of that TFR, and so they haven't quite crossed into it.
On the Buckley Draw Fire, drone pilots ranged from kids playing in their backyard to other hobbyists, and even commercial drone pilots licensed by the Federal Aviation Administration. According to Provo Police, repercussions ranged from education and warnings to citations from both local law enforcement and the FAA.
If you're not part of the active firefighting force, please don't fly.
The increase in drone traffic near wildfires has aviation specialists on the federal level concerned for their own firefighters in the sky.
Their mission is to put out the fire, not to watch out for drones.
We have pilots that spend hundreds or even, hundreds of hours in the air flying around fires at less than 500 feet, and just the exposure to them is what really scares me at the end of the day.
So what's next? Local law enforcement telling me the FAA plans to ramp up their enforcement efforts, which coincides with the Wildfire Aerial Response Safety Act. It's a proposed bill making its way through Capitol Hill in D.C. Last in a Senate committee as of March 2026, that bill requires the FAA to study how drones are impacting wildfire suppression. Reporting in Utah, I'm Brian Schnee.